This was after I retired. I mean, within those 10 years of just losing myself, I ended up overdosing. Nobody knew. Doctors hid it. It's like I have like minions that just hide everything, right?
I've seen some stuff about with the whole like Oscar De La Hoya thing.
I'm glad to go away from him.
Yeah.
He's f***ing crazy.
Wow. Oscar maybe he's doing drugs again or something. He's on some kind of drugs or something, but he's telling people that that he beat me in this fight right here.
Shane Mosley beating
the fight that I clearly beat him in.
Oscar De La Hoya fired back at Jake Paul after being labeled a cokehead during a press conference. The remark stirred controversy, prompting fans to question De La Hoya's state of mind during the event and whether he was sober. The tension between them has now intensified further.
Jake, tu deseo de sacudir el mundo del boxeo es admirable. Eres un verdadero gallo loco por enfrentarte al ex campeón mundial Julio César Chávez Jr., quien aguantó los 12 asaltos contra un gran campeón de Canelo Álvarez. Ambos los felicito por aceptar este reto. La pelea coestelar presentada por Golden Boy es otro enfrentamiento espectacular.
Oscar De La Hoya has repeatedly questioned Jake Paul's approach to the sport, arguing that many of Paul's bouts are more entertainment than legitimate competition. In De La Hoya's view, Paul's penchant for staging high-profile matches, often against unconventional opponents, signals a lack of genuine athletic ambition. He believes Jake sidesteps young rising boxers who, while less famous, pose a real challenge. De La Hoya insists that Paul treats boxing as a spectacle rather than a serious discipline, undermining its integrity. By prioritizing eye-catching promotions over sanctioned athletic contests, Paul, in De La Hoya's eyes, fails to honor the sport's fundamental principles.
I think Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, look, it's one of those fights where, again, the world's going to watch. It's going to create new eyeballs for boxing. It's going to create a lot of news all over the world. But I stick to my message, and that is if Jake Paul wants to take this sport serious, then he should be fighting young guys who are top 15, top 10, not heroes and legends like Mike Tyson, who are 60 years old.
Thank you, buddy.
That's it.
Reflecting on his transition out of active competition, Oscar De La Hoya has admitted that he struggled with personal challenges once he retired, including a reported reliance on various mind-altering substances. This period, which De La Hoya describes as deeply difficult, followed a storied career in which he battled bravely in the ring. Instead of fading into obscurity, he has been candid about this chapter, acknowledging that the pressures of retirement can leave one vulnerable. De La Hoya's public openness has resonated with many, sparking conversations about how even celebrated athletes may experience emotional hardship and seek unhealthy coping mechanisms.
And call it, I don't know, somebody's looking down at me and watching over me or something, because I should have been dead many times over from that's happened to me, But
what do you mean by that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, bro.
What?
I mean, I was once, this was after I retired. I mean, within those 10 years of just losing myself, I ended up overdosing. Nobody knew. Doctors hid it. It's like, I have like minions that just hide everything, right? Just if Oscar does something, hide it, out in the street, 5 a.m, just walking like a zombie, almost getting run over in the freeways, it's shit like that.
Canelo Alvarez recently commented that he is relieved to have parted ways with Oscar De La Hoya, describing De La Hoya as crazy in the context of their professional relationship. Canelo's remark reflects a belief shared by some fighters that De La Hoya's behavior and management style became erratic. The Mexican star pointed out that De La Hoya's roster dwindled after their split, with only Ryan Garcia remaining under his wing. This suggests that others distanced themselves, possibly due to disagreements or disruptions. Canelo's remarks provide insight into how some boxers perceived instability in De La Hoya's operations.
I've seen some stuff about with the whole like Oscar De La Hoya thing.
I'm glad to go away from him.
Yeah.
He's crazy.
We're really good friends with Dana White,
Yeah.
and he doesn't like Oscar De La Hoya too, I said.
Oscar De La Hoya has announced he's coming out of retirement to box again.
cocaine isn't cheap.
I think nobody.
Because he's a vacuum, right?
Every time he's in problems, he don't have any fighters left. Ryan Garcia, because he signed with him. Now Ryan Garcia, I think is in a problem with him. That's why nobody wants to be with him, because he's not loyal.
When UFC President Dana White was asked about Oscar De La Hoya's controversial public statements, White responded with a jibe. He teased that Oscar must have been under the influence of substances when he made them. White's critique added a high-profile jab from mixed martial arts into the ongoing scrutiny of De La Hoya's conduct. While White's remark was laced with humor, it also underscores how many in combat sports doubted the reliability of De La Hoya's recent outbursts. The comment further highlights the widening conversation about the former boxing champion's mental clarity.
Called you a little bitch, and then he said he'll fight a real man in GSP. So, do you have any comment back to Oscar De La Hoya? Because I know you haven't responded to him yet. Give me a headline, Dana. Give me a headline. Come on, man.
He's all jacked up on the yayo.
Yeah.
In another pointed observation, Dana White acknowledged that Oscar De La Hoya was once a formidable bad boy inside the ring, a fighter with undeniable talent and charisma. Still, White contended that times have changed. He even went so far as to mock De La Hoya's public appearance, including a rumored fake abdominal definition. According to White, what was once a reputation for swagger has devolved into an image marred by dubious claims and overstated bravado. By juxtaposing past prowess with present skepticism, White illustrated the contrast between Oscar's accomplished fighting career and the question marks surrounding his current public persona.
I may have missed it, but was Oscar De La Hoya included in any of the tributes tonight?
I did. Yeah, he was in the video.
Okay.
He was in the video. He's an asshole, but you can't deny what he did. I mean, the guy, you know what I mean? He's a fucking lunatic. But he was a bad boy in his day before he got his fake abs. Yeah, he used to have real abs.
During a recent exchange, boxing legend Shane Mosley directly challenged De La Hoya's assertion that he won the fight known to the public as a Sugar Shane victory. Mosley questioned Oscar's reality, asking rhetorically, "What planet are you living on?" as he defended his version of the bout. The disagreement laid bare their rivalry, reflecting a deeper resentment over De La Hoya's challenges to Mosley's legacy. This clash reveals how De La Hoya's tendency to question established boxing narratives continues to provoke pushback from fellow veterans.
Dive right in, let's see what's going on.
Here I am on top of the world, beating Pernell Whitaker, beating Julio Cesar Chavez, beating Hector Macho Camacho, beating Sugar Shane Mosley.
Beating Sugar Shane Mosley. I wonder where was I at when this happened? I didn't know. I didn't know that I lost the fight. I thought that I won this fight.
To the winner by unanimous decision, Sugar Shane Mosley.
So I don't know what dimension Oscar is living in. If is it planet Earth? Where are we at? Like, when did I lose this fight? I didn't know that I lost. Nobody informed me that I lost the fight. Wow. Oscar maybe he's doing drugs again or something. He's on some kind of drugs or something, but he's telling people that I lost, that he beat me in this fight right here.
Shane Mosley beating
the fight that I clearly beat him in, I thought. Let me know what you think. What did I win or lose, or what happened? Am I in another world? Are we on planet Earth? Or where are we at? Like, what's going on here? I totally don't understand what drug is going on. What's going on here? Well, this is clearly the first fight right here that we are fighting. And I have the Rampage shorts on. This is definitely the first fight. Even if you refer to the second fight, I mean, yeah, we could say there was probably a draw or something like that, but the judges said that I won the second fight too, and I beat him in amateurs as well, so I don't know what fights he's talking about. This might have been like a long time ago when he was in his feelings or something, or when he was doing the drugs. I'm just now coming across it right now.
Floyd Mayweather recently criticized Oscar De La Hoya's absence at Ryan Garcia's post-fight press conference when Garcia walked on stage with his father and no promoter. Mayweather contrasted that moment with how he would have supported Gervonta Davis, who is under Mayweather Promotions, even in defeat. Floyd stated he would have been there for Davis, regardless of the match's outcome, to show solidarity. His remarks highlighted a principle of promoter accountability and emotional presence.
He's been through a lot. He's been through a lot. So a lot of times when he vent out and say certain things on social media, I'm older, I'm wiser. You know, I was once his age, so I don't really worry about what the media say when they want us to go against one another. Meaning, I've always told him, I came and got you from the beginning because I wanted to see you be great. I wanted to see you do great pay-per-view numbers. I wanted to see you win. And that goes for every fighter that was ever under my banner. I never got involved with fighters to make money from them. I wanted to put them in a position so they can make a lot of money, so they can make a lot of revenue, not just inside the ring, but on the outside of the ring. So a lot of times when Tank vents out on social media, he's been through a lot, you know, throughout his life. So, but I take my hat off to him. I'm proud of him. Saturday night we had a game plan, and you know, a lot of times when he says certain things on social media, I say, you know, he's to me he's still a kid, and when I was that age, I probably would have did the same thing. I didn't have a Floyd Mayweather to stand behind me and tell me, you know, about what's right and what's wrong. He got the job done, but my hat off to Ryan Garcia, tough competitor, tough fighter, and the best man won. We all approach things in a different way. You know, I could really say something negative, I could really say something positive. But when it's all said and done, Oscar De La Hoya he's not my promoter. He was once an opponent of mine, and we all approach situations in a different way.
Following a series of public incidents, including perceived abandonment of fighters and unpredictable comments, De La Hoya ultimately parted ways with most of his original stable. The only fighter still under his Golden Boy banner is Ryan Garcia. Many attribute this to De La Hoya's contentious behavior, including unfiltered remarks, harsh critiques, and a strained approach to publicity. Canelo Alvarez expressed sympathy for Ryan Garcia, observing the young boxer's difficult point in his career as he stands without widespread promotional support. Having moved on from De La Hoya, Canelo acknowledged Garcia's solitude in his post-fight limelight as a genuine concern. His expression of pity reflects a broader understanding of the challenges faced when a high-profile athlete loses managerial backing.
I feel sorry for him. But he's boxing. He's boxing, and you know, things happen.
Did you watch the fight?
Yeah, of course. It was the fight.
He was a good dancer.
Yeah.
Would you rather see him fight Gus Haney again or Rowley again?
And you know, whatever. He's a good fighter. Just 1 year layoff. You know, it's hard.
De La Hoya sparked fresh controversy by criticizing Canelo Alvarez for scheduling a bout on Mexico's Independence Weekend, a move he called disrespectful to Mexican tradition and fans. This public rebuke added fresh fuel to their ongoing feud, with several fighters supporting Canelo's choice while noting De La Hoya's comments as misguided. In one memorable press moment, Oscar De La Hoya confronted Canelo Alvarez on stage, asserting that Golden Boy Promotions, not Canelo himself, built the superstar. De La Hoya insisted that Canelo owed him respect for launching his career. Canelo heatedly rebutted, accusing De La Hoya of demanding attention and interfering. The confrontation escalated when security had to separate them.
Highlights from the Canelo versus Munguia final press conference. So this was actually a pretty heated press conference today. But the heat wasn't between Canelo and Munguia. It was between Canelo and Oscar De La Hoya. So Oscar walks up to the podium and says, look, Canelo, this whole build up to the fight, you haven't been doing any promoting. All you've been doing is disrespecting me. Don't forget who made you into a global superstar. And then he went on to say, I'm paraphrasing, the company that built you into a superstar has one name on it and it's mine. So put some fucking respect on it. I don't even know if De La Hoya sounds like that, but it was 20 minutes ago. I can't remember. Whew, I just felt an earthquake here in SoCal. It scared the shit out of me. But anyways, whatever De La Hoya said got a rise out of Canelo. And as you see here, he started barking at Oscar De La Hoya. saying a bunch of Spanish curse words that I haven't heard since the playground in elementary school. Then Canelo takes the podium and tells his side of the story. This was all in Spanish. Shortly after, the translator comes out and says, oh, well, Canelo's excited to be the first Mexican to fight another Mexican for 4 belts. And as for the De La Hoya stuff, and Canelo just cuts the translator off and speaks in English and says, he tried to steal money. He's a fucking asshole. That should sum up the entire press conference right there. The real storyline for this fight is the beef between Canelo and Oscar. Everything else that happened today was just standard pre-fight formalities. This press conference today could have been super boring if it wasn't for the Golden Boy.
Over time, Oscar De La Hoya's conduct, marked by erratic public appearances, incoherent statements, and unfiltered rants, has led observers to question whether his issues extend beyond substance use into broader lifestyle or mental health concerns. Reddit users noted his commentary was painful to watch and steeped in confusion.
In an intoxicated state. I believe he's on drugs. I have an experience with people with addictions, and I believe that he's on more than just marijuana or alcohol. Now, I know Oscar De La Hoya came out and said that he only had 2 beers and it put him over the edge, which I find to be highly unlikely. Addiction is not a joke, and if you find yourself suffering from addiction, please do your best to get into treatment.
I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is. I will fight till the end. I will bleed till the end. And I will go down till the end. You looked great. You feel great. You were amazing. And guess what? Now it's my turn. I'm just a little hush puppy.
You're a hush puppy,
in the
okay?
Snoop Doggy world. I love Cunningham's physique. Look at, he looks like a Adonis. He looks beautiful. He looks in shape.
Hey, Al,
Look
I
at
know
the way
you're
he's making him a miss.
Al, I know you're a straight arrow guy, but how is it feeling high for the first time?
Well, I will say this is probably the first boxing broadcast on which I've gotten
a real deal. He's the USSA, baby.
Well, he was a part of the Navy for 4 years, so he's not the USSR.
That was a nice prize by Frank Mir. He's bringing the game to the table, baby. He's bringing it all to the table. He's fighting USSA, baby. Against USSA, Frank Mir is doing incredible.
Oscar De La Hoya has candidly described how his transition into retirement felt isolating and overwhelming. He has spoken publicly about bouts with depression, loss of purpose, and a desperate longing for the limelight. By discussing rehab, the struggle to maintain public image, and the realization that life was a big lie, De La Hoya revealed a vulnerable side. This transparency has inspired conversations on the emotional cost of fame. While some remain critical of his behavior, others respect his willingness to expose the disorientation many athletes feel when stepping out of the ring.
See, I would love to interview Oscar. And in interviewing Oscar, my first question would be, you talked about your addiction to partying, to booze, to women. You were a heavy drinker, and you admitted that you were drunk most of the time of one of your last boxing camps. Have you 12-stepped outside of your recovery when you went to rehab? Do you have a sponsor? Are you with other sober men? And does that help you out in your current life?
In an emotional admission, Oscar De La Hoya shared that during his career, he entered rehab and realized his world was built on facades. Reflecting on the difficulty of maintaining a public persona, he described juggling a perfect image while privately struggling. In interviews, he spoke of pushing himself into treatment and confronting truths about dependency and pretense. This confession highlighted the pressures athletes face in maintaining a larger-than-life persona. By acknowledging it, De La Hoya adds nuance to his story, transforming him from conqueror to conscientious survivor.
You know, it's the first time it's like, yeah, I'll go and get that heat off my back, everything will be fine after several days, a few weeks, whatever. But you don't do it because you want to, you don't do it because because you know you need help. You know, you do it because other people want it for you. It just doesn't work that way.
What went wrong between when you first got out of rehab in 2011 and when you made the decision to go back a couple of years later?
I just didn't accept that I had a problem. I couldn't accept it.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.